because it's with all of your help that we're going to be able to turn this disaster that we've got happening in Wisconsin and our nation around. So I want to give you an update. 2 years ago, you elected me to be the chair of the party here, and we had a lot of work to do. Our message wasn't resonating. We weren't listening to the grassroots at all. We weren't raising enough money to put out a strong campaign with the right literature all over the state, and we weren't even getting our own team to come to the polls. So we have tackled that problem, and this is the progress we've made. In the messaging, I put out a weekly update, and it's not just an update about how awful the Republicans are, because we know that. It's actually highlighting great people like Mark Pocan and Tammy Baldwin and telling about the things they're doing so you're informed. It's sharing with you information about what's happening in our party, articles you should be checking out, and helping you do more in your communities. We added a message library. There were candidates all over, down ballot candidates that got no attention in the past. We reached out to Planned Parenthood, Wisconsin Progress, the League of Conservation Voters, AFL-CIO. We created messaging that they could use in their races around the state. We got huge feedback from that about how valuable that is. We have to do so much more with messaging, and we're moving on. You might have seen that the legislature just came out with values-driven messaging about opportunity for all and about fairness and respecting each other. We need to take that to a higher level. We're not done, and that's our next step. Grassroots organizing. We are listening to you. We actually just hired a state organizing director that we found because of grassroots organizers right here in this room. I was hearing over and over again that Martha, the team that came in this last time, it was top down. They're not listening to us. I was getting calls on a daily basis about, Martha, we're not doing enough doors. It's not wide enough. But we didn't have the power to make that change because we didn't have the resources. I did spend $50,000 adding 35,000 names to our top tier targets for our assembly and state, just with the hopes that they'd get past the finish line. But we now know that we, the party, has to have more resources to invest in those things. First thing I did was, it's all about people. Money's important, but the people are the most important. So the grassroots people told me, Martha, you gotta find Stacey O'Brien. She worked on the Obama campaign. She knows about respect, empower, and include. I found her, had lunch with her, and said, Stacey, you gotta join our team. And she did. She is now our state organizing director, and she has just hired 6 people. One of them just dedicated to community outreach with our communities of color, and 5 regional organizers. And we didn't just hire them. We reached out to CD chairs and county chairs and grassroots activists who sat on those interviews and helped to pick the people that are going to organize in their area. We want to be sure that the message is coming from the grassroots up. After this election, I went out and did 11 listening sessions around the state. We heard things like, Martha, we didn't even hear what Hillary Clinton was going to do to create jobs here in Wisconsin. People couldn't even tell me what Russ Feingold's 4 main points were. The message never reached the people. We weren't listening to that. So I took all that information back, we put it all together, and we set a plan in place for how we can change it by having those organizers out there, by ensuring that our messaging, that we create a message that we go out and test with people like you, go in and have focus groups and talk to you and say, is this a message that will resonate? Listen to what really matters. 2 weekends ago, I brought together 150 people in this party. We had grassroots organizers there, leaders from different groups like North Shore Grassroots and other groups. Nate Tim was there, along with our county parties, our legislators, and our admin committee. We gave an entire debrief on what we learned in those debriefings, and then we told them this is our plan, and we said, what do you think? Should we change something? What is it that you believe we need to do? We got huge reviews from this to say it is the first time in the Democratic Party who has ever got the grassroots people in a room and said, let's build a plan together that wins. That's what I believe in. So I'm sure many of you know that I'm running for office. We have a new election coming up in June. And I've got we have four great Democrats running in this. But the one thing I'm going to ask you is, you believed in me 2 years ago, and we made some serious changes. But we are not just getting started. You have to build those relationships with people to make change happen. And we are now getting the inertia we need to make real things happen faster. I hope you'll stick with me because it's not a good time to switch in the middle of a horse race to a different horse. I hope you'll stick with me, and I would be delighted to hear from any of you about suggestions or concerns that you've had, because I know we haven't done everything right, and we just got to keep on doing things better and better and better so that we can put Tammy Baldwin back in the United States Senate. We can take one of those great gubernatorial candidates that I've been talking to since August, and I am pushing them right now, you guys. I'm pushing them going, come on, we got to get an announcement out there. So we got to be sure that we get our governor across the finish line and change that. We got to make huge gains in our state legislatures, and we got to worry about every single district having a great candidate. It's my goal that every assembly race will be filled in 2018, and we got to build our bench. So I hope you're with me. I would be pleased to answer any questions you have about it. I'll be hanging out. So thank you so much for everything you do. We're going to turn this around. All right.
Thank you, Martha. Yeah, this is election season for the party, and so I'm going to introduce the next candidate, Brian Kennedy, who's with us this afternoon, and he's going to take 5 minutes and give you his story. Brian.
Thank you, Mead. Hello, progressives! Woo! Woo! How many Bernie Sanders supporters in the house? I was one of the few elected officials in the state. I'm the mayor of the city of Glendale, and I endorsed Bernie Sanders. I was one of his delegates to the DNC, and I was proud to cast my vote for Bernie. Now, I'm not just somebody who supported Bernie, I'm also a union organizer and a grassroots organizer. I don't talk the talk, I actually walk the walk. As president of the American Federation of Teachers for the state, I organized 8 new locals for my union in less than 1 year. And I decided after 4 consecutive elections where we've had massive losses in this state, we are at the smallest minority that we have had since Eisenhower was president, that we need to have real grassroots organizing in the state of Wisconsin. Presidential campaigns are built nationwide in 18 months. Gubernatorial campaigns are built in our state in 12 to 16 months. It does not take 2 terms and 4 years to build infrastructure in the Democratic Party. Here's what I'm pledging to do if I get elected chair of the Democratic Party in June. From June through the end of the year, I will hold 150 town hall meetings, not talking to ourselves, but in rural parts of the state, reaching out to the places that used to vote for people like David Obey and Steve Kagan, but have given up on voting for Democrats. We're going to hold these town hall meetings, open them up to folks, and help define a message for the Democratic Party. I will recruit 3,600 ward captains, town captains, village captains, all over the state. And we will begin canvassing around issues this year, not waiting until next year with candidates. That is how grassroots organizing is done. It's how I got elected mayor of my city. It's how I have recruited candidates to run. My school board now used to be a conservative school board. My school board now is 5-0 progressives, and I got every single one of them elected to office. As mayor of my city, I went out and recruited neighborhood captains, and we built a grassroots organization in the city. 11 of the 12 neighborhoods I won on election day because I had the grassroots infrastructure in place. The only one I lost was the neighborhood where my opponent lives, and she only beat me there by 9 votes. So I know how to build the grassroots organization, and I'm not going to, and I'll say this, I'm not going to take 4 years to do it. We're going to have it built in 6 to 8 months. That's how I did union organizing. That's how I plan to do grassroots organizing in this party. So I'm asking, if you're going to be a delegate to the convention, that you take, I know there are flyers handed out, take a look at that website that was on there. Take a look at the plan. Carter said she's hired all these organizers. There is no plan of what they will do. They still have to make up a plan. I wrote a 20-page organizing plan. It's on that website. That's what those organizers will do. They will help turn out people to town hall meetings, recruit ward captains, train them, and lead them through canvasses. That is how we win back this state. That is how we make sure that we elect a progressive governor and make sure that Tammy Baldwin gets returned to the U.S. Senate next year. My name is Brian Kennedy. I'm the mayor of the city of Glendale, and I would like to have your vote at the Democratic Convention in June for state chair. Thank you.
Yep.